John de Graaf, Affluenza, How Overconsumption is Killing Us and How to Fight Back. Welcome to the world of affluenza, a modern-day epidemic that is gripping our societies and threatening our well-being. In Affluenza, How Overconsumption is Killing Us and How to Fight Back, John de Graaf uncovers the dangers of this social contagion and offers solutions to escape its clutches. This book summary will explore the rise of affluenza, the relationship between overconsumption and happiness, the consequences on our family lives, the impact on the environment, and the broader cost on society. Together, we will delve into the effects of modern consumerism on our lives, our planet, and our relationships, as we discuss practical ways to overcome this destructive addiction.
The Affluenza Epidemic. Picture Earth's history condensed into a single week. Human civilization would occupy merely a moment, 2 seconds for agriculture and 1/100th of a second for the last 200 years of industrialization. Despite this, our time in the industrial age has seen us consume more resources than ever before in history. Credit this spike in consumption to technological advancements that increased productivity, allowing us to produce more with lower costs and fewer laborers. Surprisingly, shorter work weeks envisioned in 1965 never materialized, as we continue to sacrifice our happiness for the demands of affluenza, the addiction to relentless consumption. Lured by the illusion of joy brought by this lifestyle, we invest our limited free time in seeking and consuming products, neglecting true happiness found in relationships and other fulfilling pursuits. Consequently, America's happiness plateaued in 1957, with self-reported satisfaction dwindling ever since. Ultimately, our infatuation with consumption is dampening our overall quality of life. Chasing connections through consumerism. Nowadays, people find themselves constantly working to make money and purchase items, leaving little time for family, friends, and community. Parents often spend their time driving children from one activity to another rather than fostering meaningful connections. As family time decreases, individuals tend to withdraw from socializing, a phenomenon known as cocooning. Substituting real connections with material possessions, people hope to fill the void by buying more. This vicious cycle of buying to find happiness only feeds the same problem, leaving individuals further away from discovering the essential connections with others and nature that they genuinely need. Environmental cost of affluenza. Our world is facing massive environmental consequences due to affluenza. As consumption has rapidly increased over the decades, we've depleted many of our planet's resources, forcing us to adopt risky mining techniques. The pursuit of copper, for example, has led to dangerous operations and environmental disasters. Similarly, our hunger for oil has resulted in catastrophic accidents, as seen in the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. On average, a middle-class family indirectly contributes to the movement, processing, and disposal of 4 million pounds of material each year. Such overconsumption fuels devastating effects on our ecosystems, including the potential extinction of countless species. Coral reefs, in particular, have been dying out at alarming rates, largely due to increased pollution and rising ocean temperatures wrought by our insatiable affluenza. It's imperative we recognize the destruction we're causing and take responsibility for ensuring the survival of the planet we inhabit. The unequal impact of overconsumption. Overconsumption's negative consequences hit the poor the hardest, and our never-ending hunger for affordable products has been facilitated by cheap labor in developing countries like Bangladesh. Cost-cutting measures, often harmful to the environment, further exacerbate the situation for impoverished communities. Media representations, particularly in popular TV shows, propagate consumerist mindsets which spread to viewers in developing nations. Cities like Manila illustrate the stark contrast between high-end shopping malls and massive garbage dumps where people reside. Staggering income inequality, with the United States ranking last among major industrialized nations, is harmful to everyone's well-being, driving inferior health standards and increasing crime rates across all economic classes. Alarmingly, despite being wealthier than their less privileged counterparts, rich Americans have a similar life expectancy to those in more equal societies in Europe. Beyond materialism, true wealth. Contrary to popular belief, overconsumption and materialism are not fundamental to human nature. In the Stone Age, humans only spent a few hours working daily, and even today, remote tribes like the Machigenga in the Amazon maintain a leisurely lifestyle focusing on socializing and creativity. Many great thinkers, such as Aristotle and Seneca, critique materialism, emphasizing the importance of spiritual development and personal growth. Furthermore, various religions, including Christianity, teach us to be content with what we have and recognize that true wealth lies beyond the material world. The Affluenza Trap. The concept of affluenza, a cultural addiction to consumerism, is deeply ingrained in our economy due to the widespread practice of planned obsolescence. Companies design products with short lifespans, forcing consumers to continuously purchase new versions or upgrades. This marketing strategy originated with General Motors, who introduced annual car models to stimulate demand after the Great Depression. Post-World War II, this approach expanded to various other products, evident by the frequent release of new iPhones. To fuel our relentless desire for consumption, financial institutions offer low-interest loans and credit cards, allowing us to buy now and pay later. This easy access to credit further exacerbates the issue, trapping individuals in an endless cycle of consumer-driven debt. Inescapable Adverts and PR. We are constantly bombarded by advertisements, with 2/3 of newspaper space and half of our mail being filled with them. They're so prevalent that we can recognize hundreds of corporate logos, but fewer than 10 types of plans. In addition to advertisements, PR strategists use tactics like creating front groups, which are organizations that appear scientific and credible, to manipulate us into consuming more. Fast food companies and petrochemical firms have created the American Council on Science and Health to defend their products, while the Heartland Institute supports energy companies against climate change awareness. Sadly, this deception has proven effective, with many Americans still believing that global warming is controversial within the scientific community, despite its widespread acknowledgement. Escaping the Affluenza Trap. Breaking free from affluenza begins with recognizing that consumption isn't the path to happiness. To increase our quality of life, we must learn to consume less and make the most of what we already have. Adopting alternative living arrangements, such as moving into small apartments, can encourage more time spent outdoors or with friends. To successfully combat affluenza, support from like-minded individuals is crucial. Joining voluntary study circles or connecting with others online can foster collective motivation in living a fulfilling life with less. Fighting affluenza with anti-ads. Affluenza, the desire to continually buy unnecessary items, is rampant in our society. To combat this, we can use anti-ads, advertisements that reveal the negative side of consumerism. These thought-provoking, ironic ads demand an active viewing experience, breaking the spell of regular advertisements that lull us into mindless consumption. For instance, an anti-cigarette ad depicting Marlboro Man-like cowboys rode horses under the words, "I miss my lung, Bob." Additionally, teaching children about media literacy, which encourages critical thinking about the information advertisements they consume, is crucial to counteract the lure of electronic media consumption that sways their affections. A powerful documentary, The Story of Stuff, by a former Greenpeace activist, offers an invaluable lesson in media literacy by examining the environmental impact of waste. Increasing media literacy and being aware of the consequences of overconsumption gives us the knowledge we need to immunize ourselves from the affluenza epidemic.
As we conclude our journey through the world of affluenza, it becomes clear that overconsumption is not only harming our planet and widening the inequality gap, but it also poses a serious threat to our happiness and well-being. Escaping the grips of affluenza requires that we recognize its symptoms, consume less, make more meaningful connections with others, and educate ourselves on the media and advertisements that feed our desires. By developing a critical awareness of the forces that fuel affluenza, we can begin to build a more sustainable, equitable, and fulfilling society for ourselves and future generations. The power to change lies within ourselves, and embracing a simpler, more mindful lifestyle is the key to combating this insidious epidemic.